All right, everybody, welcome back to this channel. I know we didn't go daily, I think, yesterday and the day before. Honestly, there wasn't much to talk about, and I thought we put out two really good videos earlier this week, so I just didn't want to post the post. We're back this weekend. Club football is back. International, it's been a bit slow. We've been watching some of the highlights on stream, nothing too crazy. This video tonight, we're going to go over pretty much a couple of news stories that you probably heard, maybe you didn't hear. Going to give you a take or two on it. And a couple of games this weekend that I'm looking forward to, I'm going to be watching. So first story is Araujo is set to return to training on Sunday, which is great because let me tell you something right now. Barcelona fans, lucky you. I mean, you guys have done what you guys have done without Araujo. And I think when he's healthy, when he's at his peak, I think he's a top 5 center back in the world. I really do believe that. I know some people don't really love him. At moments, they think he's not the best in terms of maybe they think he's overrated. I hear those takes. I think he's great. I think he's very good. This is going to be a blessing for Barcelona to get back. They've done what they've done this season without him being healthy, so they get him back. You know, something that surprised me a little bit, I didn't even go over this. I'm not going to do a dedicated video about this. Pep Guardiola has signed a contract extension. He's going to be managing Manchester City for another season, and then he's got an option for another season after that. I don't know if they disclose in football the exact contract values. It's got to be probably pretty high. A little surprised by this. I thought Pep was going to maybe make a move to a national team or a different club, but it makes sense. What he's got at City, he's pretty much had full control. They give him everything he needs. And I have this feeling that Pep is really wanting to get one more Champions League at City because I think if he leaves right now, he's accomplished a ton. You know, they've had one of the, if not the greatest Prem teams ever, 100 points. You know, they have done a lot of titles, a lot of trophies, a lot of great moments there. But, you know, I think he would like to get another Champions League. So I'm not surprised to see him do that. Does he have the squad to do it right now? I don't know. Champions League is really interesting right now. I don't feel like there's an outright giant. So, you know, if they could pick a run of form, you know, he did just lose 4 games in a row. But, you know, Man City will shake that off. It's kind of funny, by the way. I've just realized this, and I didn't even point this out, that in their bio, it says watch together 4 in a row. I don't know if that's a troll or that's actually their documentary because they did lose 4 in a row. That's kind of funny. So this did surprise me. I don't know what you guys think, but makes sense. And Haaland just was quoted today on Fabrizio's Twitter saying, you know, best manager in the world. Love to see him re-sign because there has been questions about, is Haaland going to leave at some point? You know, I think Haaland is still pretty early on in his years there. But I would really like to see Haaland at some point go to a Spanish club later in his career. That's just me speaking out loud. Right now, that option is not really there. And, you know, Haaland is a top 3 striker in the world. But you look at, you know, Madrid has Mbappe. Barca has Lewa. You know, it's funny because Victor and Haaland are their 2 best strikers, right? None of those teams are going to get him with who they have. You know, I know Mbappe's been a little rusty, but he's going to pick it up. So, look. A couple games to point out this weekend. First of all, Napoli, Roma. This one is going to be on Sunday at noon. I know that a couple of games I'll talk about are probably tomorrow, so by the time you see this video, it may have already happened, but I know a lot of you guys just watch these videos in the first, you know, half a day anyways. So Napoli's top of the league. This one is interesting. Roma's really had a shit season. Like, there's no other way to put it. But Napoli, in their last 2 games, has started to drop some points in the league. So that's why I was going to mention this, because Napoli started off crazy. A little less impressive the last 2 games. Roma, nothing more impressive. In their last 2 games, they've dropped points to Bologna, and I don't even know the logo of that other team. That must be a new logo. What is that? That's not Verona. Who the hell is that logo? Oh, that's Champions League. I was like about to say that team is not in the city. Anyways, Europa League. Sorry. Manchester City Spurs. Look, this one for me is probably the match of the weekend. The match of the weekend, and here's why. Okay. For some reason, Spurs, we look at the head-to-head here. You guys will sit here and laugh, right? You know, for as mid, in my opinion, as Spurs have been since they made that Champions League run, they really haven't been over-impressive. And even with that Champions League run, the real peak of Spurs was Dele, Dembele, Kane, Eriksen, right? That season, Son. So that was, for me, the peak of Spurs. They should have done it that year. They didn't do it, right? You look over the years, look at this. Spurs beat City already this year in the Cup. City beat Spurs. City beat Spurs. They drew. Spurs beat City. You know, City beat Spurs. So, look, if we're going by previous fixtures, right, and the way that City have previously played, I think City, I'm just going to say this, I think City are going to smash Spurs. I think this slump is going to break. I think City's going to go nuts. I think these guys have won so much over the years. They are not going to accept 4 L's in a row lightly. The manager just re-signed, getting some players back from injury. I think they're going to win by 2 goals. I think they will win by 2 goals, and I think it will potentially be a high-scoring affair. I think it's going to be like a 3-1, 4-2. We will see. Spurs low-key, for me, I was watching them because they beat City that weekend in Villa, and I'm like, oh, my God, they lost to Palace the week before, and here we are again, right? Because they just lost to Ipswich. So, Ipswich... Spurs are just Spurs, man. This is if you guys gamble, which I don't bet. But if you do, I don't know how you would ever bet on Spurs because they would just be hell. Like, look at the standings with them and Brentford, right? 5 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. They just all in. Southampton sucks this season. Look how bad they are on the table. Anyways, Barca, look, still 11 wins, 6 points clear at the top. Obviously, they have that game in hand. Celta Vigo away. This one should be not the easiest game, but I look for Barca to have a good game. They definitely, got some rest. Some players, at least, international break, you never know. And look, this is going to be a very good match because they're playing a mid-table team that keeps a lot of games close away. The team they're playing, obviously, has 4 points out of the last 6 games. I think this one will be close. I look forward to this. This won't be tomorrow afternoon. So we will see here. Barcelona fans, let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Head-to-head, I mean, Barca usually takes care of business, but Celta Vigo are just like a team that I feel like can always get a result. Mid-table teams, La Liga, very good teams. Milan play Juve tomorrow at noon. This would probably be with Spurs City, my second, if we're going to go with top 3, this one should be really good. Juventus, obviously, this season, playing insane. For the most part, they kind of go back and forth. These are usually going to be 1-goal game affairs. Juventus recently, though, have fallen off a little bit in the table as some other teams. If we look at the Serie A table, I mean, look at Fiorentina this season. Look at Atalanta getting, 15 points out of the last 15, where Juve have suffered, unfortunately, from a lot of draws this season. As good as they've been defensively, they're starting to fall back a little bit. Milan also have that game in hand. So Milan's going to be really motivated at home to get points out of this because this would be huge. If they could win this game, they're 3 points behind Juve, and then they're only 5 points behind the top. Even games, 20 or 25 games left. So watch out for this one. I personally have felt like Milan has started to flip the page. I think a lot of us have been waiting on this season because no one could even believe the way Milan started this season. But the way Pulisic is playing, I think Leao is starting to pick it up. They just look like they're starting to get back to it a little bit. They did draw their last match, but I think this game, prediction-wise, I want to see Milan get a result. I just think Juventus, look, for me to choose against Juve, it's hard to do. I would say Milan, I think they call it draw no bet, right? So I think that they're going to draw or win. I think Juve has potential to lose their first game. Juve coming away to Milan is going to be tough. So I think this will be a draw at the worst for Milan. And then, look, Amorim's debut is going to be this weekend. They will be playing Ipswich away, who just took care of Spurs. United are coming off some somewhat decent form. Not playing the greatest teams, but they're getting some points, and United are starting to be at this point in the season for me where, look, this is every season with them, right? Like it seems like the injury, the team sheet is like this every season, once we get a couple games into the season, which sucks. Is it the medical? I don't know. Cristiano says some things about it. But they are at the critical point of their season, okay? Because right now, the gap from 13th to 3rd is 4 points. So Ruben's coming into this saying, okay, look, I'm the United manager now, okay? I've got some games ahead that, let's not say any match in pro football are easy, but if you look at the next, let's say, 6 matches, right? Arsenal's the toughest one. Forest are playing well this season, but you've got Ipswich and Everton in the league. You've got Pilsen in the Europa League. Bodo is a tough team in the Europa League. That's never an easy team, but, before you play City, you've got those matches to continue good form, get a win streak. And for me, the largest thing with United right now, they need to build confidence, man. Confidence is so important at this pro level. The difference between a lot of these players is really not all that. It's about team camaraderie and confidence. And so hopefully Ruben can implement that. He had Sporting playing insane, so we will get to see this. No more Ten Hag. Still don't know what's going to happen with Ten Hag, but Ten Hag is done. Anthony Taylor will be the referee of this match. Fantastic. And then really last stuff that I wanted to talk about is we have Real Madrid. This is this is a game that I just personally feel like Madrid away this season have had sometimes some troubles getting going. And I still just have not loved how Madrid have been playing this season. Now, look, I like the response from the 2 L's, but Madrid, for me this season, they're really just struggling with this urgency. And I tweeted this out the other day. I can't believe that they are still potentially 3 points behind Barca for how good Barca have looked, for how bad. And I'm saying for Madrid standards, bad, but they're still here. And that's why Madrid are Madrid, bro. They can play this way, and they're still in it. They're not even close to far off of it. If they win this game this week, they're going to be 3 points off. This is not going to be the easiest game. It's away. This team, not a massive goal differential. They drew the last time they played a while back in La Liga. So, look, I'm hopeful for Madrid. You know, I think for me, man, it's like these guys need a fire lit under their ass to start playing well. It's just weird, man. They also obviously dealing with defender injuries, that's for sure. But I want to see them come out and I want to start to see, I did a rant video on Mbappe. I want to start to see him turning it up, man. I mean, we know what he's capable of. We got to see it. So that's what we got going on this weekend, guys. We'll be checking, and if anything in the football world happens crazy this weekend, we will be talking about it. But for now, that's kind of what we're looking at this weekend. So I would say in terms of if you have a couple games that you do not want to miss this weekend, it's going to be Milan, Juve. It's going to be Spurs. It's going to be Spurs, Ipswich, and it's going to be United, man. I think United are so entertaining to watch, no matter who is there. It's just, I mean, how the hell are they in 12th place? I don't know, but the Prem is crazy right now. I mean, that 4-point gap is nuts. So let's see what happens, and we'll see you in another video soon. Peace.